your landlord would have
especially if they don't have a license.
Especially if they don't have a license. That would have contravened the Foreign Exchange Act, Act 723. Now, there are punishments for that. And so if you contravene the act, it becomes a criminal act. You can be prosecuted, and when you are convicted, you will be sentenced to some term imprisonment.
So from my understanding, it's actually okay to a certain extent as long as you have a license. So
yeah,
everybody can get a license?
It's not everybody. No. The Bank of Ghana would have to examine the reasons for which, and the Bank of Ghana has guidelines as to how to give the exemptions. So you don't just walk to the Bank of Ghana and they will give you a license. So the Bank of Ghana will not give license to everybody to deal in dollars. So you must first satisfy the Bank of Ghana that there is a need for that exemption. If it is granted, then you can deal and purchase, sell, and do anything in foreign currency. But if you are not licensed, it becomes an illegal act, and you can be prosecuted for that.
Has there been any occasions where people have been arrested and actually?
Oh yes, there have been. There have been occasions. You know,
is it very common?
Not so common. Like your report said, it appears the law is not being implemented. We are not cracking the whip as much as we want it. But there are instances where people have been arrested. Is the outcome? I don't know. But because this law has provisions for sanctions, I'm sure that
definitely,
there will be
some prosecutions
and sanctions meted out.
Okay. Has there been what I'm trying to say is there an instance where somebody can actually justify the use of foreign currency without having the license that you keep talking about? Is there any instance at all?
No, that would be against the Foreign Exchange Act, because the bottom line is that before you can purchase and sell in foreign currency, you can make payments and receive payment in foreign currency, you must be licensed to do so. So there will not be any justification for you to have or deal in foreign currency without a license. That will not be, there will no explanation.
I bought this property or this product in USD, and so I also want to sell it off or rent it off in USD.
You can't do that. The question is, have you been authorized to do so? If not, then you have contravened the law.
Why do you think that this particular law hasn't been implemented or fully implemented?
It has to do with the frequent nature of the depreciation of the cedi. Sometimes, the Bank of Ghana recently came out with some circular reminding Ghanaians of the fact that the Ghana cedi is a legal tender and that no other currency should be used. Now, it came as a result of the fact that our cedi was depreciating so fast, and people began to think that there's the need for them to keep their monies in dollars. So they begin to do away with the Ghana cedi and then save in dollars.
Which is legal.
But the point here is the payment and, as it were, dealing in foreign currency must be based on authorization. But if you are just saving your money in dollars, you have dollar account, that is allowed. So you can save your money in dollars. But if you are now going to use that dollar to purchase a house or to rent a car, you must change it back into cedis and pay. So I think the reason was because the Bank of Ghana was inundated with the fact that, and they were overwhelmed because of the depreciation of the cedi.
Right.
So it had to go on for some time.
Regulations. Right now, I remember during that phase when we had that serious depreciation not too long ago. Now, the Bank of Ghana came down, they cracked the whip really, really hard. And they actually, I remember there was a directive that nobody or no shops and all these people that we've talked about this morning should trade in foreign currency. But now that it seems like things are a bit stable and so on and so forth, people have reverted back to the old ways.
Yes, but the law is still the law. The law is still in our statute books. And so nobody will be exonerated. If you are stealing every day and you are not caught, then you can go scot-free. But the day that you will be caught, then this law will be brought to bear on you. But the law is still the law. It doesn't mean that the law is no more functioning.
Right. Now, what, in your opinion, would you attribute to the reason why people prefer to trade in the foreign currencies?
Like I indicated, the instability of the Ghana cedi and the fact that we are an import-led country. We are a country that imports almost everything. And these things that we import into the country are not by the use of our cedi. It is the foreign currency, particularly the dollar. And so people who trade or import things into the country would first want to change their monies into dollars. And so I think the only way we can reverse this is if we are able to reverse our dependency on imported goods. If we are able to produce locally, that will go a long way to cut down on our dependence.
What about simply just making the law work? I mean, if you're not allowed to trade in foreign currencies, you're not allowed to. And if you need to make your money back because you're trading or you're buying goods or you're importing goods in US dollars and so on and so forth, just quote in Ghanaian cedis. I mean, sometimes some people just, they just get threatened or overwhelmed by just hearing you quote products in foreign currency,
I think there's no question as to whether there's a law that prohibits the dealing in foreign currency, but I think the problem has to do with the implementation.
That is our problem in this country,
I think the Bank of Ghana would have to be up and doing to crack the whip and to use some people as examples. Other than that, I think that this will continue.
Okay, so in a nutshell, there are just a few people who are exempted or who are allowed to trade in foreign currencies, and even with that, they must have a license to do so.
But if you don't have, you are not authorized, and you are engaged in illegal dealings in foreign currency, when you are convicted, you will be sentenced to a fine not exceeding, the law is 700 penalty units. Okay, and if you want to know how much that will cost, a penalty unit, the last time I checked, is 12 Ghana cedis. So you multiply by 700 penalty units.
Do you think this is enough to deter people?
Well, that's not the only thing. Apart from 700 penalty units, you can be imprisoned for no more than 18 months, or you can suffer both.